We're at the movies with Matt and Ryan, and it is Ryan, and Matt is in the room this time.
Hello.
And we're here for a review of The Dark Tower.
Yeah. So the summer movie season is kind of winding down at this point. I guess this is the last event film of the summer. Technically, even though it is lower budgeted than most blockbusters, but this Stephen King. It's based off a Stephen King book series. A lot of people call it the Lord of the Rings of Stephen King's kind of
Works.
literary career. It's like his epic series. I think it's 8 books long, but
Yeah.
they've been trying to make this movie for 10 years now. I remember spawns all the way back in '07. J.J. Abrams was going to make it, and then Ron Howard was going to direct it, and he wanted to make a TV series, and then the studio backed out. And finally, they kind of settled on Sony taking over, and Ron Howard was a access producer. But so Dark Tower, I mean, it's here. I don't know.
Yeah. It's here. Does the story matter, really? Does the
I'll-
synopsis matter?
I'll get my good friend IMDb to do that. So it follows the last gunslinger Roland Deschain. He's been locked in an internal battle with the Man in Black, and he's determined to prevent him from toppling the Dark Tower, which holds the universe together with the fate of the world at stake. Good and evil will collide in the ultimate battle as only Roland can defend the tower from the Man in the Black. I mean, that was a horrible description of IMDb. They didn't even mention the main character in it.
It's been like 4 times where you've read IMDb's descriptions. They've been so bad.
These are the descriptions that the studio submit to IMDb, so they should
That's
be
funny.
accurate, but that's a fucking horrible description. I mean, I guess some of it's right, but they forget that the main kid here is Jake Chambers, played by Tom Taylor, and he's kind of getting these weird visions, and then his visions end up being right, and he's transported to this alternate world where Matthew McConaughey is just trying to destroy everything. So
Yeah, this movie was funny, not in a good way. I mean, it was very directionless. I mean, there was a lot of. I felt like they were changing their minds with regards to the story as the movie went on. Nothing really got developed at all. It was just really wacky the entire film. It was a good time, but I mean, we got to look at this from a storytelling perspective here. It really wasn't good.
So the movie's already gotten pretty shot on by critics. I think it has like a 20 in Rotten Tomatoes, something like that.
Yeah, dropped
But
actually.
yeah, I didn't hate this movie. It's fine. I would describe it as a good HBO movie. Like that's kind of how I put it, because it's definitely not boring. I appreciate that this movie does feel like kind of something from the late '80s, early '90s. Those kind of weird, the never-ending story type kind of block. I wouldn't say those are really blockbusters, but like fantasy, high concept films. Like it definitely felt like the remnants from that era here. The tone, yeah, it was kind of a mess, but I'm glad there were some more campy elements kind of incorporated. I think Matthew McConaughey was very entertaining and fun to watch as the villain, but you could still kind of take him seriously based on some of the pretty evil shit he does. I mean, oh my god, there's one thing he did. I was like, what? I was pretty surprised, but
he had like more power than I think I've ever seen a villain have.
He had magic. Yeah, but
in a film, like
yeah, McConaughey was good. Like I enjoyed his performance. Based on the trailer, I thought it was gonna be like a funny bad performance, but I think he did an alright job. And I think Idris Elba's Idris Elba. Like
yeah, he's very serious.
He's a talent. No, he's just a very talented actor. So I mean, he could be playing the fucking janitor at Agawam High, and he'd still be doing a great job. So I don't know. Like it is disappointing that you have these two heavyweight actors and they really don't have much time to interact against one another. I mean, I think there's 2 scenes that the gunslinger and the Man in the Black really share together, and one of them's kind of just like like a minute. Like
I wish there was more action scenes because there's only an hour and a half.
I'm not even saying like action. I just want them to like talk, like kind of like.
I know, but there was like one scene where like Idris only like had his he went like batshit and everybody, but that was like it. I don't know.
One of the other things besides the actors I liked about the movie is I don't think it fit the standard mold of blockbusters, like I mentioned earlier, with how it's
Yeah,
kind
it
of
doesn't.
a 80s 90s fantasy film. I liked just the settings. I liked that it was a little lower budget. You could tell, but
Yeah.
the less use of CGI was nice to see. I like that there wasn't a lot of action because when the action started popping off, you actually got excited and it was like fun. Like it didn't feel the need to fit in the standard mold. And I also, I mean, it's a double-edged sword with the running time because I do like
Yeah.
that it went by and it had a good pace. But at the same time, the running time is just far too slight for this material to ever kind of develop
Yeah.
on screen.
Especially for like a first film. Like if this is an 8-book series, you're introducing a whole nother world. It's hard to really fit everything in an hour and a half. So yeah, it was, I guess, good and bad in that sense. But yeah, everything in this movie was just so crazy. Like it was just wacky and
Yeah,
I don't know.
the mythos. I mean, I think Stephen King fans are gonna be fucking pissed
Yeah, they're
about
gonna.
this. That's the key thing when you make an adaptation. You have to please the fans. And I think this movie does. I think it really is made for more of someone who has no fucking clue what these books are because it just kind of you have details here and there, but nothing's really fleshed out. And I think that's going to annoy a lot of people who liked the series for its detailed kind of interesting mythos. I think people are going to be kind of pissed.
Like Steven's usually known for.
Well,
His writing.
it's interesting enough. Stephen King actually said the movie was good. He was happy with it, but I don't know if that's him pulling a James Cameron Terminator Genesis or not.
Really?
I don't know.
I feel like authors are very like butthurt with movies.
They're very particular. Yes, he hasn't been afraid to speak his mind on a few movies. So I was curious to see the fact that he liked this.
Wow.
I think the main problem is the fucking kid. Like, it's so stupid to have him. You have the gunslinger. You have this interesting character. I mean, I wouldn't say interesting, but like interesting idea, and he's just kind of becomes a background character for most of it. The main character here, the boy. I mean, it just telling the story from his perspective just feels so cliched. It's like we've seen this movie before. Oh, he's bullied. Oh, guys, I'm right. I'm telling you, this is it. Like it's like we've seen that shit all done before. Like I really wish they would have just cut that out. Like I don't think the kid is awful, but him and Idris Elba have absolutely no chemistry together. And I just felt his character as a whole felt very flat and just cliched.
Why didn't they just like? Because there's like some theme. There's like a theme of like a father and a son. Why didn't they just like flesh out like a theme of the relationship between a father and a son? Because I feel like that was a big part, or supposed to be a big part of this movie.
They didn't flesh out shit.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like that could have been interesting. It's if you wanted to make a better movie.
Well, the arc they try to have with fucking Idris Elba's character made lickety dick sense. Honestly, they try to like paint him off like, oh, he's not really trying to be a gunslinger anymore, but you really don't get a sense of that. Like it's just
it was weird.
It's just kind of like a thing that people say. Like none of the characters are very well developed, but I think the biggest problem making that keeps this movie back from being like dumb but fun movies. I think the direction was very poor. I think it's Nicola Arcel. He directed a lot of indie movies. 2012's Royal Affair is actually a pretty good movie, but he just feels kind of out of his depth here. I mean, Sony apparently did try replacing him a few times during production, and that doesn't really surprise me, considering because the movie just feels kind of directionless, and it kind of needed a director to kind of insert more of his own voice into the material. Tonally, the movie's just a mess at points.
It's a problem with some studio films. You have multiple writers, multiple people.
Yeah, there's too many fucking... The guy who wrote this, Akiva Goldsman, is a fucking hack, so that's another problem, too. He's a terrible writer. He's written some shit movies over the few years, so I mean, I don't know, like, this could have been good, but, I mean, as it stands, is it terrible? No. Is it anything I'm going to remember in a week? No.
Yeah,
so... I guess if you really care, you'll be disappointed. But if you're just expecting an okay-ish kind of movie, you could do a lot worse. I mean, the fact that people are calling this one of the worst movies of summer, I think is a little ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah, Mummy.
I would like to sit all those people down and watch Transformers again, and they can just not say that because Transformers was just painful. Like this, it goes by, This,
Yeah, the hour and a half helps.
there's a few fun moments, It was okay. Like if you catch a little bit of it on TV, you're not gonna mind. So I give the movie a 5 out of 10. I think it's a fair rating. It's fun. I just rent it. Like I don't know.
I'll give it a 4.
Damn, a 4. That's a lot.
Yeah, just like I don't know. It wasn't like dumb enough to be like hilarious. Like there was one line that got me laughing hard, but like it wasn't like dumb enough. So for that reason, I'm gonna drop it. But maybe Stephen King's It will be better in September. A
Ew. I'm not really that excited for that movie.
lot of people are. They'll make bank at the box office. But anyway, that's it. That's our Dark Tower review.
Sure.
We'll continue with these. We're almost back. Almost a month. A month left to the radio.
Less than a month.
Yeah,
The 25th.
it's crazy.
25th is return
Yeah,
day.
yeah, I know, but we probably have to do like other stuff. But anyway, all right. Well,
Okay.
I'll put this up and check out our other material on our YouTube channel at the Movies with Matt and Ryan. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.